It's a me, a Mario.
It's a me, Mario. All right. Wow, that's a loud car.
Little race train.
Howdy, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jake. You are tuned into the Talks and Crocs podcast. Thank you for watching and or listening to us. I am your host, and we have our co-hosts, of course, Chris and Stacy. Trying to see if my hands got in there. How's everything going, y'all? Thumbs up?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you've got some stuff happening right now.
Yeah, a little bit.
Just hope everything turns out okay there.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
Me 3.
Me 3, me 4, me 5. How's everyone's week been besides today?
Pretty good.
Same.
Yeah?
Pretty good.
It'll be a little while before y'all announce stuff then.
I mean,
We can say it now.
we started telling people.
Oh,
so.
okay. Well, you want to give the big news to everybody? Or?
Sure. Hey, everybody. We don't have a date yet, but Stacy and I are going to be moving to Omaha because I got a major upgrade for a job.
Sounds like a pretty good opportunity from what Shawnee was telling me.
Yeah. Really excited about it. Lots of advancement possibilities.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I mean, you got to go where you're being told to go anyway, so
Yeah.
if that's what's happening.
We're definitely feeling that we're being led to go that way, and we're excited to see what God wants us to do there because there's a lot of need there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the neat part about the job that he got is he didn't apply for it. He just got the call for it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he had 2 separate job opportunities presented to him, too. And neither one of them did he apply for. He didn't apply for any jobs in Omaha.
You're just being led to, being pulled/told, hey, get your butt over there.
Right,
Yeah.
What's
right.
happening.
There is need for you. Go. Do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, sir. Let's go.
Yeah. There's no doubt in my mind that that's where we're supposed to go.
So are you going to be remoting then, or how's that work?
I'm going to work remotely most of the time, but I'm going to try to come into the office at least once a week, if possible.
Yeah.
Maybe twice a week. I don't know at this point. I didn't tell my bosses until yesterday because they were not in the office, and I wanted to tell them in person. I did not want to tell them over the phone, and it went really well. The boss that I told first, he was funny because I'm like, hey, when you have a second, I need to talk to you about something for a minute, but it's not a big deal. And he turned around and he went, what?
Uh-oh.
Just like that. And I'm like, okay. I said, it's not bad. It's just going to be a little bit different. And he looked at me like, okay, what's going on? You know, kind of trying to puzzle out the situation. Yeah. And then I told him, I said, well, Chris got a job in Omaha. And then his face dropped. And I'm like, I'm not quitting, I promise. I'm planning on working from home and then coming into the office, you know, once or twice a week as I can, if I need to be here.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, because we don't want to lose you. So then he asked me if I told my other boss, and I said, not yet. I was waiting for you to get here because I didn't want to tell him first and then have him call you. I wanted to tell you both around the same time. Yeah. And he'd been in the office for like a couple hours. So then I talked to the other boss because he walked down the hallway and he's like, hey, was talking to Doyle. And so then I told him what was going on, and he's like, oh, that's cool. Congratulations. And Doyle was telling me, he's like, yeah, if you're going to drive in, we'll cover the gas when you commute in and everything. And he said, you know, there's really, unless if you absolutely have to be here for equipment or something, there's no need for you to drive in. You know, you can do everything from home. So, except for, of course, on-site stuff, which I have to drive for anyway. So
yeah, you're already driving for that stuff anyway.
Yeah.
There is some good news, though. They're not quitting the podcast. They're still going to be co-hosts, and we're going to try to figure out meeting up either here still or me bringing gear and going there somehow.
Yeah.
You won't lose us.
Yeah.
Not that easily.
No. Yeah, and if we have to do it on like Saturdays or something, we can do it on a Saturday, whatever.
I'm really flexible with stuff anyway. I know you guys are too.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday morning, 4 a.m. Let's go.
I'm just getting up to go to work at 4 a.m. So I don't know if that'll work. Oh, hey guys, how's it going? I'm just standing there in my boxer shorts and t-shirt.
We show up with coffee and donuts. I don't think you'd argue.
No, I probably wouldn't. That actually sounds really good right now. Coffee and donuts.
That's funny.
Especially since you were talking about baristas just a little bit ago, and I've still never tried it. I don't know when I'm going to try
I
it.
should have just got you one.
Our coffees are so good.
It was really good.
Need to get him on the podcast too. I talked to him once a few weeks ago during church. It wasn't. He was in the hallway, and I was waiting for a kid to get down to the bathroom because I was working children's then. And I'm like, hey, I want to talk business stuff sometime on the podcast, kind of money stuff. I just hit the mic. Sorry, everybody. And I think he'd be a good person for it.
Nadering?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get on here and talk about businessy stuff and money things.
Oh, he's
and,
just a cool guy.
Yeah.
yeah.
And he podcasted for a while.
Yeah, and I think I saw some of his on YouTube where it was like him and
It was him and Jay.
Jay.
It was
Yeah.
Ministers with Mugs, I think.
Yeah.
Or yeah, I think it was Ministers with Mugs.
so they were probably drinking coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
100%.
Not just looking at the camera all with like a mug face.
Yeah. They had coffee. It was
That would be fun.
They had different coffee cups and stuff. They had it on YouTube and they had it on a bunch of different places. But I binged all the episodes like in one shot.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a lot of episodes, isn't there?
I think there were like 6 or 8.
Oh, I thought they did more than that for some reason.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly how many there were. I'd have to look it up to be sure. But yeah, I binged them all in one shot, but I was driving from here to Trenton and back that day. So
Oh, yeah. So that's quite a drive.
yeah. I hit them all in one shot.
I got a buddy of mine that I served with that lives down there in Trenton. So we stayed down there a couple times with him, and I know how far that is. That's not a good drive from here.
Yeah. It's a little bit long.
So how's everybody's happy crappies? I think we know what your crappy is.
Yeah.
That just happened a little while ago.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I always end up going last, so I'll go first this time. Let people think or whatnot. Happy. I got my new toy in. I showed Chris my new toy. Yep, it's a Taurus Tracker 627 357 Magnum. Using that for deer hunting for the most part, or whatever. It's a hunting revolver, so I hunt to provide food for my family. I don't hunt for trophies. I hunt for food. And deer is one of the things listed in the Bible as okay to eat. So, yeah, suck it, people. Crappy. Well, at first I kind of was really worried about you guys moving. And then I got reassurances, and I'm like, okay. Because according to Shawnee, I've got RSD, which is something like where you freak out over people leaving or something like that. I don't really know how to explain it. She explained it to me one day. I'm like, yeah, it sounds about right. RSD. I'm going to Dr. Google that.
I was going to say, are you Googling? Because I've never heard that term.
Rejection-sensitive dysphoria. It's a problem that interferes with your ability to regulate your emotional responses to feelings of failure or rejection. Interesting. She explained it a little more than that, too, but apparently it's usually accompanies ADHD. Which I've always been fairly certain I've got.
What? You have ADHD? A squirrel.
What?
Trying not to say your, answer to random questions. I don't know. I don't know if you have ADHD or not.
See, I've got a big problem of people are talking, then my mind's like, hey, I want to interrupt and associate with my story in mind to say that, hey, I know what you're talking about, but I got to tell my story too. And then I got to focus on myself, be like, hey, shut up, Jake. Don't interrupt people. And that's always been a hard thing that I've had, except for when I was in the military. That was pretty easy to stop doing that there because the drill sergeant yelling at you, that's
Yeah.
pretty intimidating.
That'll deter you, yeah.
Yeah. So otherwise, I really don't have a crappy after that then. It was a fairly good week. Long week at work, that's for sure. That's about it. How's about you guys?
Do you want me to go first?
Ladies first.
Oh,
Well-
and I screwed up by going first.
My happy is that so far, everybody that we've told that we're moving to Omaha has reacted in a positive way. Nobody's gotten hurt by it, because that was kind of my biggest concern, was having people get hurt by the fact that we're leaving, because
I mean, y'all are loved here, that's for sure.
people get hurt easily by stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but my crappy is that about I think it's about 4 o'clock, I was on the phone with my boss, and he started having trouble talking and making sense. So I'm a little bit concerned about him. We've been praying for him, but they got him to the ER. We got a hold of his brother, and we got him to the ER. So they're checking out what's going on. But yeah, that's my crappy, because that was kind of scary, not knowing what was going on. And I had to go get my other boss, and he came over and talked to him and got him to stay where he was at, because he said something about driving, and we're like, no, stay where you're at. So, but yep, that's my happy and my crappy.
Happy
You had
crap.
2 people to go before
know,
you had
right?
time to think.
Yeah, but I'm distracted by like 5 million things right now. I think my happy is that there's a lot of things that I'm happy about. So I just had a really good coffee earlier, so that really helps with my happy.
Oh, man, I want coffee so bad right now.
We should,
I'm struggle busting. I ain't gonna lie.
we can arrange it. I'm happy about the way that the future looks for us. I'm very excited to see where God's going to lead us. So I'm very happy about that.
I'm excited too. There's been quite a few people from here being pulled to Omaha lately. It's interesting. Shawnee brought that up. She's like, "There's been a lot of people moving to Omaha."
There's a lot of need in Omaha. A lot. I'll tell you some stuff later that I heard about. I think the crappiest scrappy that I have for today, which isn't really crappy in my mind at all, is I went to work and I went there at 9. The gentleman that I was supposed to work with showed up at like 10:30, and he's like, "Dude, I threw up 6 times before I came to work." And I'm like, "What are you doing? We work in food. You can't be here throwing up." And he's like, "Well, I'm going to try and tough it out." And against my better judgment, I'm like, "Okay." And about 12, he's like, "Man, I'm really struggling." I said, "Dude, just help me through rush. Get out of here at 1. Just in case, I get 12 people. Because I can handle 5 or 6, but 12, I'd be like, you guys are going to be waiting forever."
Yeah, keep washing your hands, dude.
Yeah, he was pretty good about it. But yeah, that's probably the crappiest thing. After 1, he left, and I was there till 3, and it really wasn't horrible. I just had a lot of prep stuff I had to get done. So I was move. But I'd rather be that person. I'd rather be busy than standing around trying to find something to do.
Oh yeah, that's okay. For a crappy for me, you made me remember it. This morning at work was very slow. My 4 hours at work that I do on Fridays was super darn slow, and I did not like that at all. I like being busy, so my day flies. Which normally my 11 and a half hour, 12-hour day flies like crazy. This 4 hours seemed more like a 12-hour day.
That's me. I'm the adrenaline junkie when it comes to work. I want to just go until it's done, and then, clock out. See ya. Bye.
Well, anyone got questions? I got some here, but
I have a random question, but I'm going to have to go last, because I'm going to have to think about it a little bit, because my brain's a little scattered right now.
something just hit me. I want to reiterate too on what this podcast is for. So this podcast, I know there's people that have been listening and all that, but we're starting to get a little more headway on TikTok too. We're getting a little more visibility there. So I want people to understand that it's partly TikTok. This podcast is kind of more on just showing everybody Christian lives, how we all actually live, and that we're not hoity-toity people. And we want to also interview people that are non-Christians or Christians, just get everything going, and maybe we can plant seeds out there. But we just we want to get out there and just let people know who we actually are. So that's why we sit there. We'll talk about Star Trek, hunting, Star Wars, all the nerd stuff. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a nerd, but we let you into our lives so you see how Christians are on the daily. And then we discuss Christian topics, of course, and how we're supposed to live, and not just the people that go to church and then that's it. We actually try to walk the walk. We don't just talk the talk. And hopefully y'all see that on the podcast. All right, now we can get to questions. Unless you guys have something to add about it, too, on what you guys think this podcast is.
No, I think you covered it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I had something this week tell me, hey, I need to reiterate that.
Yeah.
It's
'Cause,
important.
I mean, we do talk a lot of stuff, but
Yeah.
it's just how we are, how we live, and what we like. But we also keep everything as Christian as possible, and we try to follow the good book and actually walk the walk. So,
Right.
all right. I'll go first on the question since you want to go last. And you normally go first anyway, so it's kind of a nice break for you.
Yeah.
So, what genre of music or band would you listen to as a kid/youth in order to escape everyday bad things or bad feelings?
Wow.
I can answer it first.
Go for it.
Mine was Creed, which that's another happy of mine. Sorry, I forgot this week. I bought tickets to go see them in Iowa next July.
Nice.
We're at now. It's fair.
It's a weird sounding name. It's some big county throws a big shindig, and it's going to be Iowa, Finger 11, and Switchfoot playing. And Creed is a Christian band, which I don't know why I didn't realize that up until about a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got to listen to their lyrics, I'm like, wait a second. It sounds real familiar.
With arms wide open.
Or My Own Prison's a big one.
Yeah.
That's a
Oh,
really good
man.
one.
That's
Like,
good
I
too.
can't wait to see them. It's called their 1999 tour. And it was like, I don't know, it was $50 a ticket, basically. But yeah.
I guess we can talk about them and not worry about copyright as long as we're not.
As long as
Playing
you're
the
not playing
song.
it. Yeah.
As long as we don't sound too good.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So we got to purposely sound bad if we start singing it. So if we sound bad, it's totally on purpose.
What's the rule on that? How many seconds can you sing or perform a song before it hits a copyright ding?
I think it's fine for you to sing it because there's a lot of people on YouTube that sing and play
Yeah.
copyrighted music and they don't get strikes for it. I think it's only if you're playing the studio version or the live version or
the recorded one
the
that's
actual
actually out
recorded,
there.
the official version of the song.
So if we sound horrible, it's good.
Yeah, it should be fine.
I think one of my favorites is actually a song called "Beautiful." It's "Beautiful is empty, beautiful is free. Beautiful loves no one." Yeah, that's the lyrics. It's I forget what album it's on. It might be on their Weathered album. It's either on Weathered or Human Clay.
I don't think I've ever listened to any of their albums. I've listened to a couple of their songs, but I like them.
I've listened to a lot of their stuff, but that's during a time when my brother and we were jamming out to Creed because we were living with my mom's a very abusive boyfriend at the time. So we would kind of escape out to the woods, go run around and get away, and then jam out to Creed in the bedroom,
Nice.
and then do Fight Club. Like brothers should, we take our beds, put them across the floor, and fight each other for no reason.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
When I jammed out to a lot of Creed. I still jam out to it, and I got Ronan excited for it. So he was like, "Who's Creed?" I'm like, "I have listened to Creed with you, dude." So I put it on for him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I like Creed."
Maybe I have.
That's so funny.
Maybe I have listened to one of their albums.
I say.
So Human Clay is my favorite, but I have their greatest hits that's on my phone.
Yeah.
I think Human Clay is the one I listened to all the time.
I've listened to some of their music, but I couldn't tell you any other songs other than Arms Wide Open. So
Like some point you should listen to. Was it Hello? It's Hello, My Friend, We Meet Again. It's why can't I remember the title of that song? But if you listen to the lyrics of that song, it's basically God having a conversation with another person. It's like, "Hey, you're back." So it's like, "Hello, my friend, we meet
cool.
again.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Where should we begin?"
I think I've heard that. That
Yeah.
sounds familiar.
It's probably one of their more famous ones. I love it. Yeah, I love it. So
Are
yeah,
you-
Creed was my getaway.
Are you looking it up?
Oh, I could.
If you would.
No, probably not. Probably not to play this song, but I'll look at the lyrics.
That's fair. Gosh, is it actually playing on my phone?
Actually, it's called "Hello, My Friend, We Meet." No, it's called "My Sacrifice." There we go.
okay,
Awesome.
I've heard
Yeah,
that
I've heard
song
that song.
before.
Yeah, I know
I
that
have
song.
heard that song before.
Is that on Human Clay too?
Human Clay album.
Making Jake work.
Yeah,
That's
pretty much.
perfectly fine. Go view more, show more. So you got What If, Wrong Way, Wash Away Those Years. Oh, that's a great one. Gosh, I haven't listened to that one in ages. Higher, Are You Ready, with Arms Wide Open.
Oh,
There's
Higher.
two versions.
Yeah, I've heard that song too.
Me.
Beautiful. Never Die,
Yeah,
Faceless Man, Inside Us All, and Say I. Say I is a really good one.
I know
Okay,
that
so I've
song.
heard more other-
I think I've heard that song. that
I've
whole
heard
album.
more of their songs than I thought.
I think Weathered, or like there's a song that I didn't realize it was Creed for a while. It was like, hold me now, I'm 6 feet from the edge, and
Yep.
I'm thinking. Yeah, it's Creed.
Yep,
Okay.
yep, it is.
Yep.
Correct.
I'm trying to go to their Weathered album.
I was a music major. I know these fun things.
So,
With arms wide open.
yeah, My Sacrifice is on the Weathered album. That's my second favorite of theirs. I get made fun of at work because I'm a Creed fan. I like Creed and I like Nickelback. And like, oh, you like those guys that sound like they're taking poops and trying to sing.
I saw Nickelback in concert on their first tour.
I would love to see Nickelback.
It was cool when they weren't a sellout. They're sellout now, but that first tour, they were so much fun.
See, a coworker of mine, he went with his wife, and then he took his son too, with a couple of their friends to the Nickelback concert not too long ago. And then his son actually got pulled up on stage to sing up there on stage with him.
Nice.
They said they put on a really good show. I mean, I'd like to see him.
I'll tell you a story about that concert later about Nickelback
Uh-oh.
that I probably shouldn't say on the podcast.
if you like Creed, you probably would like Third Day if you haven't listened to any of their music.
I don't know if I've ever
It's
heard of them.
Third Day's a Christian band.
Okay.
They've got a similar sound.
Whoa.
Wow, that came through the headset.
I know.
Exhibition of acceleration. Go.
Wow. Okay. Well, what was the original question?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Let me get back
That's
to it.
okay.
You're good.
It says, what genre of music or band would you listen to as a kid/youth in order to escape the everyday bad things of life?
Okay. So my answer is mostly Christian music. However, there was one band that I listened to that was not Christian, and that was Live.
It was in sync.
No, that was my sister. I listened to some of NSYNC, yes,
It's
but that was
98 degrees,
not
wasn't
for
it?
that reason.
You did say live though,
Live.
and live is awesome.
Live is
Yeah.
Was that the actual name of
That's
the
the name of the band.
Oh, you
yeah.
haven't, man. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll play some music later.
Dolphins
we're gonna,
Cry.
We're gonna jam.
Yeah.
We're gonna crank that soundboard with you.
Yeah.
Well, get
I
it.
came across the wow.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Live a lot, but I would listen to most of the time it was Christian music, but sometimes when I was in my angry stages, I listened to some Live.
So it's a rock band.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh man, I could sing lots of their songs right now. And
Yeah.
I shouldn't.
But my favorite Christian group from when I was a kid was PFR. And their name stands for Pray for Rain. They originally named the group Pray for Rain, but then they realized that there was another like rap group that was named Pray for Rain, so they changed their name to PFR. And my favorite song of theirs is Great Lengths, and I love that song. But I digress. That's what I listen to. What about Chris?
This is going to be fun. I grew up in kind of a different time than the two of you, so
Yeah, he was probably listening to the Rat Pack and jamming out to them.
not that old.
Well, I'm 31 and I listen to them.
But I
so-
do like the Rat Pack, so yeah. Overall, if I was going to listen to something to get away from what was going on, it could be a mixture of anywhere from the Imperials, Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton, rock, because my older brother was 4 years older than me and he influenced me in that, Christian music, and at night, especially, I think it was Friday nights when I grew up, Dr. Demento came on. Have you heard of Dr. Demento?
Was he the guy that like did stories?
No, he played wacky music.
Oh, okay, then I'm thinking of somebody else.
Yeah,
Okay.
Dr. Demento.
Dr. Demento would come on, I think it was Friday nights at like 7, and he would play like wacky music, like music that's written parody or just silly. Like Weird Al got us started with Dr. Demento.
The Klingons on the starboard bow,
Yeah.
that Star Trek song, Star
There's-
Trekking across the universe. On the
pull the
Starship
going
Enterprise.
forward, 'cause
yeah.
we can't find
yeah.
reverse.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
It's
Yeah.
That looks
hilarious.
awesome.
Star Trekking across the universe.
He used to play like a lot of 20s to, well, at that time, 80s music. That was just wacky and just a riot. The dude was very, very entertaining. Like I said, Weird Al launched Another One Rides a Bus on Dr. Demento's show. And Weird Al recorded that in a bathroom, in a bathtub.
That's interesting.
Because he couldn't afford a studio sound, so he just
Yeah.
sat in a bathtub because the acoustics were perfect, and played his accordion. I couldn't think of what it was called.
Mr. Music.
The musical
Major.
instrument that
Yes.
goes like this.
The hurdy-gurdy, yes. So yeah, I have a lot of music that I've listened to, so it's hard for me to narrow down one specific thing.
Sorry, I've looked up your Star Trek and Across the
Oh,
Universe.
that's-
and I
Oh,
was
that
reading
song is
hilarious.
fun.
hilarious.
It's fun, yeah. Yeah, we'll have to play it after the
He's
podcast.
dead, Jim.
Yeah, it's really funny.
Yeah.
And it gets faster as it goes along. It speeds up at the
Oh,
end.
it's long. There's a lot of lyrics.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's great.
Bathrooms. You were just reminding me that you could always tell when somebody is on the cell phone and in a bathroom just because that sounds so much different. There's that weird freaking echo.
They echo. Yep.
Yeah.
And I have a habit of calling Shawnee for some reason when she's in the bathroom. at work. But yeah, I got more. I got more stuff. Wow, stuff.
Words.
More stuff or questions I could go with. But anyone else want to go?
I've got a question.
All right, let's go.
Okay. What fictional character would you most like to be friends with? Out of all fictional characters, who would you like to be your bestest buddy?
Fictional characters.
Fictional characters.
Reminds me of a movie.
Yeah.
You're based
I'm
off
gonna have to think for a second.
fictional.
Yeah, I know. This is a good
characters.
question.
Would you said would you like to be friends with?
Yeah. Yep. Which fictional character?
Wait, man.
You had to pick one.
One.
Yeah, I know. That's the hard part.
I hands down. I don't even have to think about this. I already got it.
Let me guess. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That's my boy.
I knew it.
That's my boy.
I knew it.
I'm still thinking.
Yeah.
We would hang.
Yeah. I think for me, it would have to be one of two characters, either Arya Stark or Ahsoka Tano.
Oh,
Ahsoka's awesome.
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
so's Arya.
So is Arya.
So I haven't seen that show yet. So
And that's Arya Stark is who we named our cat after.
yeah,
We're going back and forth between Ahsoka and Arya for the
Yeah.
name for her. Those have to be my two favorite.
see when you guys told us
Fictional
that, I thought you were talking Arya from Aragon. Because she's a BA too.
I'm surprised you didn't say Janeway.
I was too. I thought you were going to say Janeway.
I like Captain Janeway, but she is a little bit too intense for me. I don't think she would be fun to be around.
Fair.
I mean, there are times in the series where she's fun, but most of the time, she's like type A, drinking coffee, ready to murder whoever's standing in her way. So I don't know that I'd want to be friends with her. Arya Stark, though she is very intense, she's also a little bit more of a playful character.
Trickster. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got that chaotic good going.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Arya.
Yeah.
So,
I was going to be like John Wayne or something, but he's got so many different characters. I don't know who to choose on that one. So I'd go with like either Commander Riker or Mace Windu.
Ooh.
Mace Windu was probably one of my favorites to always play on any Star Wars game. If he was an option, that's who I was. But yeah, Commander Riker is freaking awesome too. Apparently, one of the new series, every time this guy, not every time, but he would like swing his leg over the chair and go Riker, and before he sat down. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Did you know it's reported that on Mace Windu's handle of his lightsaber it said BMF?
I bet it did. That's awesome.
I would not be surprised at all. Did you know that Samuel L. Jackson, when George Lucas asked him, he said, "Hey, I'd like you to be in Star Wars." And Sam's like, "I'd be happy to be a stormtrooper. I don't, whatever,
Yeah.
sure." And George is like, "No, I want you to be on the Jedi Council." And he's like, "All right." And then he's like, "Hey, what color lightsaber can I get?" And George is like, "Well, the good guys usually have blue and green." You can see this clip on YouTube.
Yeah.
And and then George is like, "Well, bad guys are usually red." And he's like, "Can I get purple?" And George is like, I think we might be able to make that happen. And I was like,
Yeah.
yes,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
so cool. Anyway.
Apparently, he's like doing some narrating for some nature shows for Discovery Channel now, and I've heard some bloopers.
Oh, that's fun.
He uses a saying a lot. The blooper reels are
Yes.
pretty hilarious.
Did you know that the reason that Samuel Jackson swears a lot is because he has a tick. He has a stuttering tick.
I heard
and
that.
He uses that to overcome his stuttering tick, which I'm like, that's really cool.
I think it's funny that he chose those words
Well.
to use. He could have chose something else, but chose that. But it works.
I mean, yeah. Well, in the roles that he got hired on earlier, it made sense that he could use that language.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I have questions.
Let's go.
The first one that I thought of while I was sitting here contemplating what questions I could ask you guys, and I don't think I've asked you this.
Okay.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Everybody always says flying, so I'm not going to choose that one. Although when I was a kid, I used to try to pretend like I was a Dragon Ball Z character and fly off. But I want to do super speed because you need to burn too many calories doing that. So you got to eat all the time. Oh,
Do you want me to go first?
yes.
Mine's incredibly silly.
It is.
This has been my answer for a very long time. So, my superpower would be the ability to give other people explosive diarrhea. Because there are times when people really deserve that.
Wow.
It's a really good way to stop somebody from committing crimes.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Or it'd be hilarious to watch a political debate and you could do it through the
Oh
TV.
my gosh.
Politicians are just being stupid. It's like, bam.
And then the economic.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be great.
Yeah.
that would be
It's just a silly thing.
Oh. If you're just going to go with the classic stuff, I'd say super strength probably.
That's fair.
You could do a lot with super strength.
Yeah. And if you go outside of that, there's all kinds of stuff you can do. But yeah, one of our nephews asked me that question, gosh, probably 10 years ago. And I gave him that answer and he's like, what? And then he started laughing when I started explaining why. Because, there are times when people totally deserve it when somebody's yelling at a cashier or something.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it'd be a great time. Great time to have a superpower like that. Yeah.
Oh, that sounded a little too good.
It was pretty spot on.
I didn't even realize I'd pick it up that well. I didn't think I was going to be that loud.
Let's say there's a reason we don't have superpowers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like at work the other day, I think it was yesterday actually, they were doing hypotheticals like, Jake, so what would you do if you were like emperor of the world or just president of the United States? Like, well, first off, no one would mess with me anymore. First thing, push the button.
Wow.
Threaten me, boom, button pushed.
Done.
It's just like, yeah, that's why I'm not president.
That's fair.
Yeah. Yep.
Mess with my friends, button pushed.
Yeah.
So I have another one if we want to do another question.
Yeah, let's go.
According to the alignment chart in D&D, do you know or Pathfinder in your case?
Yeah.
Do you know what your true life alignment is? I realize that it's
Is there
hard.
like an online quiz for that?
There is an online quiz for it. I realize it's hard to narrow it down, but you can pretty much guess people's once you know how it works. It should-
Okay, I'm gonna Google and see if I can't find. There's one that just says alignment test.
Yeah, that should be it. I'll come over and look shortly.
Do you know yours?
Oh yeah,
You want to talk about it?
mine is lawful good with chaotic good tendencies.
And mine is the opposite. It's chaotic good with lawful good tendencies.
Did you find one?
There's a quiz and it's gonna take a while to do, so I'll probably do it later. There's many questions. There's 36 of them.
It's for those of you who don't know, alignment is basically your morality code where you stand in law versus chaos and order versus, good versus evil and law versus chaos.
yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Trying to think what I put for my character.
I think it was chaotic neutral or chaotic good.
Probably chaotic good.
I don't think it was chaotic. There was good though. It was something good. I don't think it was chaotic.
Maybe neutral
Maybe
good.
neutral good.
Maybe. No, I did do chaotic good.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I did. So that way, when I go and run around and do something stupid in the game, it's kind of goes along with my character.
It's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just not like Dalton's character that goes and jumps on a random chair.
Gets nuked.
Oh my gosh.
It was awesome.
That was pretty
And now
funny.
my character's scared of chairs, it seems like.
Yeah.
Good times.
Pretty funny.
It's also why I'm always looking up at stalagmites or whatever the heck or something.
Ceilings.
Yeah. Got any more?
Oh no.
Okay. I'm going to go with something I saw. It's a TikToker named The Bible Teacher. I'm thinking I'm going to message him and see if he maybe wants to do just hop on the pod or something. See, I've had with Dalton, we had another podcaster on TikTok too that they joined us last season. So might message them, see if they want to hop on with us again or not. But so I wrote down here, I saw a TikTok by, I'm pretty sure the handle was The Bible Teacher, which it was. And he made a good point. So in Exodus, we know there was quite a few plagues. You know, that happened.
Right.
He brought up how the waters and rivers turned to blood. Why do y'all think God used this as one of the plagues? Why he turned the waters and rivers to blood? I have a thought, but I want to know what y'all think.
Well, I think there's a lot of reasons.
Well, water.
I have a very specific one.
I'll say water is a precious commodity. And I think that's part of the reason because, man, would that send a message?
They technically at that time drank from a river. They washed in the river. So having it of blood would ruin all those things for them.
Yeah.
Their animals drank from rivers. I mean, it's such an important source at that time period.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring up something that happened before the plagues.
Okay.
Remember the decree that Pharaoh made against the Israelite boys that were born? To kill them. And they had to kill them by putting them in the river.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the waters turning to blood, that was good chance it was a symbolic deal of God doesn't want to kill babies.
Right.
God doesn't
Yeah.
like death of babies. And it's the blood of the dead.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
You mess with my kind, and guess what? I'll show
Yeah.
you.
I hadn't thought about that, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
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 I have the Bible verses written down, but whatever. I'm not going to go into all that. It's in the Old Testament, people. Exodus 7:14 and then Exodus 1:22 is the decree where Pharaoh says kill the male babies, and Exodus 7:14 is the plagues. And I think it's interesting how it's the first plague. So it's like, okay, so it's the blood of all the babies killed, of all his chosen people, all the babies killed, and it was the first one. So could that mean that was one of the things that he was majorly irked off of?
Right. Oh, he's like, yeah, okay, here's how it's going down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just want to get your guys' thoughts on
No,
that one.
no.
Because I saw it and I was just like, wait a second. That makes a lot of sense that
Yeah.
the bloody river would be the blood of the babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is totally how God works.
Yeah. and
Everything is tied in
Yeah.
some way.
I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah, it's like he just made a quick little 20-some second TikTok, and I'm just like mind blown at it because I'm like,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like all the plagues I was reading somewhere, they associate to certain things that have happened or to certain deities that the Egyptians worshipped. So it's basically just like, see, your deities are nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a plague that contradicts them, and they can't do anything about it. So your gods aren't real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to research into that because it was pretty cool hearing it was like a quick 4-minute thing while I was driving, so I wasn't able to research anything. It's when you put
Right.
like on YouTube and just start
Oh.
scrolling through different videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I have on here, how would you interpret the devil prowls around roaring like a lion? I know that's a verse.
I know there's a verse that says he stalks like a lion and comes to still kill and destroy. But I can't remember what the verse references.
This says 1 Peter 5:8, your adversary, the devil, walks around like a roaring lion,
Okay.
looking for someone to devour.
Okay. Yeah, that might be the same verse. Let me look. I'm gonna look on. What was the reference on that again?
1 Peter
1 Peter
5:8.
Okay. I'm getting my Bible app open here.
So am I. We're all doing the same thing.
1 Peter. Oh, I happen to be in 1 Peter. Wow. Okay.
I'm not doing the same thing. You guys.
5:8.
You rebel.
I'm being a slacker.
Like,
Okay.
I think where I was getting at, where would you take that verse in today's time?
The devil prowls around and roars like a lion.
Looking for someone to devour.
I think how I would interpret that is that the devil sneaks around, and the roaring like a lion part is the devil knows that he's defeated. Like he knows how the Bible ends. He's not stupid.
Oh, yeah.
He was there when it was, when these things were being formed before they were written down. So he knows how it's going to end for him. So all the devil has is words. He has no power if you know where you're at. So all he has is words. So him roaring is just him trying to say whatever he can do to derail people, because that's all he's
Yep.
got.
Yeah. I think about a lot of the political unrest that we have right now and a lot of the crazy politics and beliefs that people have and the way people are led astray. And the devil sneaks in like that lion. He prowls in, and then he gets in people's heads, and then he makes them loud and obnoxious, making big deals out of things and confusing people and causing discord and
Yeah.
all of that kind of stuff.
So it got me thinking, too, like where with the same questions are repeated over and over and over again against Christianity, and it's people that are usually being extremely verbally loud about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they're throwing the same stuff out there. Well, that disproves this, that disproves this. It's like, oh, no, if you actually go to the Bible and read exactly what you're saying and read around it to get the context,
Right.
you'll see you're exactly wrong.
Yeah.
So, and then it gets me thinking about like the news now, CNN, all those people, how they're just roaring out there. Whoever's the loudest is the one that's listened to in our society anymore.
It's true. Yeah.
And like you look at Hollywood, everything they're doing, and all the like you can see now from concerts, there's been like a lot of witchcraft and demonic rituals happening, including
You're right.
with, I'm sorry, people, but Taylor Swift has been doing it a lot lately too. In her concerts, there's been people that have reported amnesia for no reason, massive amounts of people, and it's always when she's been doing this kind of ritual thing. And what was it? I think Lady Gaga came out saying she's a Satanist, and
Yeah, there's a bunch of
Oh, yeah.
people that have started having demonic emblems and practices and dressing up like devils and all kinds of stuff.
Homeboy with the blood in his tennis shoes.
I didn't hear about that.
There's a rapper who made a big deal about having human blood in his tennis shoes. Like his shoes were specifically made so that they could hold blood and like in the sides in a tube or something. And I'm like, whoopie doo.
Was a basketball player,
No, he was a rapper.
rapper.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
What in the world?
I'm gonna just put
It's hype.
rapper
But
blood shoes. And
it
see
could
if
be
it pulls it up.
very much.
Rapper blood shoes? It
Oh.
probably does.
Little Nas.
Yeah, that's
Nas?
Oh,
Little
Little Nas
Nas,
X.
Yeah.
Unofficial Satan Nikes containing human blood sell out in under a minute. So
Wow.
Whoopie-doo. But yeah, probably very much tied to the occult. So
he launched a pair of controversial Satan shoes featuring a bronze pentagram, an inverted cross, and a drop of real human blood. They sold out immediately. The black and red sneakers were part of a collaboration between him and the New York-based art collective. Were made through using Nike Air Max 97s, though the sportswear brand has distanced itself from the design. In an email statement to CNN, Nike said it was not involved in creating the modified sneakers.
So why did they make them then?
Well, they didn't make them. I guess he worked with some New York-based art collective, MSCHF, and they did that.
Oh, okay.
They
so
modified them.
Nike sold them shoes, and this other company did the modifications.
well, they probably just bought the shoes.
Yeah, they bought the shoes. They were
Yeah.
Nike Air Max 97s, so I'm assuming they came out in 1997.
Yeah, I would assume that's how it works as well.
I have no idea on the whole shoe game.
I've
I'm totally gone from that.
I've never wore a pair of Nikes in my life.
I have, and I hated them. They were not comfortable at all. I got to wear like Asics or Brooks or New Balance. That's what I got to wear. And if I wear the New Balance, I got to get the white ones, wear the calf-high socks and shorts, and walk around like the dad shorts or whatever. Got to do that. But
Yeah, it says that the limited edition drop of 666 pairs sold out in less than a minute. They were priced at $1,018 a pair, in reference to the Bible passage Luke 10:18 that read, "I saw Satan fall like lightning from the heaven. Each shoe's air bubble sole contains 60 cubic centimeters, 2.03 fluid ounces of red ink, and 1 drop of human blood."
I've got to show my brand. Chucks, Converse.
Oh, yep, Converse.
I love
That's what
Converse.
they look like. Yeah.
Like, have you guys been paying attention to Taylor Swift's concerts lately? They're nuts. And then, like, they'll go completely red and black and start doing all this creepy stuff, and people are saying they're losing their memory, like masses of people. And somebody brought up, I forget what podcast it was that I just popped up on my TikTok. They were talking about it too, and about how a concert, if they're doing a demonic ritual, a satanic ritual, but they need lots of energy, what better place than to have a concert to do it?
Right.
All the people jamming out to that music, giving all their energy and everything to it.
And it's focused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's focused. It's getting used up.
Literally selling your soul to the devil.
Yeah.
Good job.
Well, Satan, he was the angel of music
Yes.
originally. So, I mean, it makes complete sense that he would be in that world and kind of controlling that whole situation.
It makes so much sense.
Let my little bit of redneck came out there.
That's okay. We don't hold that against you.
Some people might. Like at work, I get made fun of for going into random accents all the time. Like I'll randomly go Scottish or Southern, or I'll be talking and it'll be like multiple accents at once happening. It's like, that's just, I don't know why I do that, but
That's
I do.
funny. I can't hold an accent for very long.
Oi.
I'm not very good at that.
Hello, governor.
Okay.
Like if I try to do English, I got to sound like the most hillbilly English person ever, or I start going Australian with it. I can't do like a fancy royalty English guy.
My English always slips Australian. It's so hard for me to stay English. I always slip Australian. That's Tuesday, ain't it?
I like it.
It's British Tuesday.
Tuesday, ain't it?
A water bottle,
A bottle of water.
bottle of water.
Governor.
I think going back to TikTok. Apparently, I've been on there a lot lately. There was a gal from Britain on there talking. I could not understand a darn thing she said at all. And there's people that like responding and laughing, and they're typing in the comments. I'm like, I don't understand at all what she's saying.
Was it a chutney accent or just the way she was speaking?
I guess I don't know what chutney is.
Okay, chutney is as far as I know, chutney is a specific area in England. It may be in London, but the chutney accent is very specific, and just all of it is very unique. Like, Not that I'm trying to compare chutney to this particular region of the United States, but it's like the Southern accent, where it's very unique. Not that it's implying that they're rednecks or whatever you want to try and feed in there. It's just a very unique and like
Osakan for
Osakan
Japanese.
for Japanese.
Yeah.
Just a very unique.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, like Osaka, the Osakan accent in Japan, there are certain words like okonomiyaki, which is it's a kind of like a pancake omelet kind of
Oh, is
creation.
that really fluffy thing?
Yeah.
That they're like super fancy with?
Yeah. So, in the Osakan accent, if the anime that I'm referring to was pronouncing it the way that they do in Osaka, they pronounce it okonomiyaki.
Okonomiyaki.
Yeah, instead of okonomiyaki. Now, I'm probably butchering it because my Japanese accent isn't very good. But yeah, there's an Osakan character in my favorite anime of all time. And
Which one's that?
it's Cardcaptor Sakura.
Dragon Ball Z Unabridged.
No, Cardcaptor Sakura. The character's technically not Osakan, but he spent time in Osaka and absorbed the accent. So he has words that he says that are just a little bit different than everybody else. But that okonomiyaki, I think is how he says it, and it's doesn't sound like the same word at all.
It's kind of like us with the influx of Texans for our church, where we're all saying
Yeah.
y'all.
Oh, I've said y'all ever since I was a kid, but we lived in southern Kansas for a while. I think Kansas is a little more southern than some other places, especially southern Kansas.
Fair, yeah.
There are certain places in Kansas that are definitely like that. Where I grew up in Kansas City, not so much, but yeah, there are definitely some more rural areas that are definitely like that.
That's because where you grew up in Kansas, they had claptraps and vending machines with firearms.
So that is a joke.
That is a joke.
That is a joke
very
because
inside
of
joke.
Borderlands,
The video
the
game.
video
Oh,
game,
okay.
Claptraps. Kansas was part of the Borderlands during the Civil War. So Kansas didn't pick a side. Kansas
Yeah.
was part of the Borderlands. So he always jokes that since I'm from Kansas, I'm from the Borderlands, and I grew up with guns and vending machines and claptraps and like the Borderlands video games. So
I'd say one of my favorite animes. It's one that not a lot of people know because there's only 2 seasons of it. It's March Comes In Like a Lion.
okay.
It's not like your normal anime where it's like all these powers and stuff. It's this guy is playing like competitive chess, but it's not chess that we know it. It's their version of it.
Huh.
And I forget what the heck it's called, but it's really good.
March Comes In Like a Lion.
Yes.
You said that's the name of the anime?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll have to look it
I
up.
think
Yeah.
I watched it when we had Netflix. There were only 2 seasons, and I was super mad about it. Because like he's some super smart teenage kid that's working his way up to the top, and that's what he does for a living. He goes and competes in these
Yeah.
chess tournaments. I gotta click it. I had it pulled up here. I gotta see what it's called. What is the game they play?
Interesting. I'm looking into it already. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Well, the anime that I like the best, Cardcaptor Sakura, it is a magical girl anime. It's probably one of the first magical girl animes. It is aimed at young girls, but it has a lot of character growth. It has a lot of depth. Chris watched it with me, and he was surprised at how good it was. The only thing I can warn against is the cards that have the creatures on it that escape. They look like tarot cards. So, and because it's magic and they're using like a sigil comes up when she's like capturing them and stuff, it could be one of those things that if you're not secure in your faith, it could bother you, or if you feel like
Influence
it's
you wrongly.
if it's too much like too much like witchcraft. I mean, it's not really, but it could definitely make some people uncomfortable.
He plays shogi.
Shogi, there we go.
I looked it
Yeah.
up.
Like I almost wanted to learn how to play it after watching that anime. But it's a lot like chess is, but they have different characters. But Oh, excuse me. So yeah, March Comes In Like a Lion's one of my favorites. There's another one, I forget what the heck it is, but it's like this guy was in love with this gal when he was in high school, and they eventually, like, he has to move in with their family or her family or something. Then they start dating. They eventually have a kid together, but because they have a kid together, he drops out of college and like works the electrical power lines and stuff. But something happens where like she has a sickness as a child, but it came back as she was an adult. And she ended up dying, and so it's just him and his daughter after that. So it's like a really emotional roller coaster. But Shawnee watched that one with me, and I can't find it anymore anywhere. It was great though. Besides the end where like it makes you freaking bawl your eyes out because like they bring you really into the whole family deal. You're really invested in all the characters.
Crunchyroll.
Maybe. I don't
Might
know.
be on Crunchyroll.
Maybe.
I just wish I could remember what it was called.
Yeah.
Because it's the same one, but there's two different animes from it. It's the same exact storyline, same people. One of them where she dies, and then there's the one where she doesn't die.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like it's the same exact story, but then they're both. It's weird because it's two different series, but they're the same series.
Yeah.
But then one where she dies and one where she doesn't die.
They do that a lot in Japan where I think they call them OAVs, I think. But where they'll do different variations of the same story,
Yeah.
which I find interesting. It's something that we don't do a lot in our Western culture, but Japan definitely does it with their animes, where they'll have there's a series called Tenchi Muyo, and
I've heard of that.
there's a bunch of different Tenchi Muyo series, and each one is like a totally different universe with Tenchi, and it's one of those animes, I can't think of what they're called, but that has a lot of. He has a lot of love interests, and all the girls all the girls are interested in him.
They're all ooh ooh. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. So that's too bad the camera wasn't on you because that would have been funny.
That would have been an awesome like meme or video clip to get.
But anyway, they have a bunch of different OAVs of that and different movies and stuff. And there's like Tenchi in Tokyo, there's Tenchi Muyo, there's Tenchi in Time. So there's a bunch of different ones. So I know exactly what you're talking about, but I don't know. I always find it unique. I like that idea of having the same character. And there's another one, Rosen Maidens, which is about dolls, which sounds like porcelain dolls. Sounds like it would
scary.
Sounds like it would be because they're living dolls, but it's very interesting. And there's a couple different versions of that too.
That show I was talking about, it's like the family, they're bakers.
Okay.
And the dad was supposed to like be a professional baseball player, but something happened where he couldn't do that anymore. So if anyone listening, that sounds familiar, let me know, because I've been trying to figure out what this anime is for a long time.
I think the spin-off is called March Comes In Like a Lion, The Untold Showa Era Tale Scorching Times.
That sounds really long.
I'm looking at the Wika, so.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
It's good, though. It's not like an action-packed anime, but it's good. And but then they have the deal, too, where there's like the guy that's like the head honcho, like the best of the game or whatever, too. And then they talk about like they always have like each player has a certain drink that they drink and then like a food or whatever. It's like your brain uses so many calories. You got to have a certain amount of calories of certain sugars in order to play this game correctly.
Oh, wow.
So they're eating like pieces of cake and stuff, but they're all like super skinny because apparently they're burning so many calories playing this game.
That's fun.
That's really good. I really enjoyed it.
That's fun.
See, there we go. We're talking about stuff we like instead of just Bible stuff.
Yeah. Another anime, if you like the animes that have like a lot of heart and might make you cry, My Roommate is a Cat.
Yeah.
It's got a single season. It's like 12 or 13 episodes long. Wonderful, wonderful
So
show.
good.
It shows the human's point of view and then the cat's point of view. So you get to get inside the cat's head, and you get to get inside the human's head, and you get to
Interesting.
yeah.
Most of the episodes is like the first half is the human point of view, and then they switch to the cat's point of view and show what happened, but from cat's point of view.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun to watch.
Whoever wrote that did amazing at getting cat behaviors down. And the main character, and I'm going to say main character, even though there's a lot of main characters really, that's human, not the cat. That main character he's an author, and he's a total recluse at the beginning of the series. And then you get to watch his evolution of character and how he changes and how the cat impacts his life. It's a wonderful anime.
And when she says total recluse, I mean doesn't want to go outside, period. Total
Yep.
recluse.
Really?
Yeah.
And like we'll go out. It's really hard for him to go out. Like somebody really has to leverage him for him to go outside. Otherwise he's like, I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm writing at home. I don't have to do anything else. You can have food delivered to you, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have to leave the house. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the first episode, the very beginning of it starts with a funeral.
And it will pull on your heartstrings every episode will just be like,
Oh yeah. Yeah, I cried so much watching that episode or that anime. Every episode I think I cried. It was so good though.
it is really good.
That's one thing I don't understand is why is it the really good animes only have 1 or 2 seasons? Like the ones that are like super epic storyline, like really draws you in emotionally. You get like you're emotionally invested in that anime, and then it's just boom, done. I never understand that.
Yeah. Well, with this one, you really have a complete story arc. So I mean, there are places that they could go with it, but I think it was good that it ended after one season, just because it's got a very satisfying end.
Yeah, they complete the story.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. It's short, but it's really good.
Yeah, the one anime I like to watch when I got home from school, besides Pokemon, I don't know if that's called that's an anime.
Yeah,
right?
it's an anime.
Yeah, it started in Japan.
Yep.
Besides Pokemon, running home watching Pokemon Dragon Ball Z was Hamtaro. So a lot of people have no idea what Hamtaro is.
I know of it. I'd never watched it, but I do know what it is.
It's a little cutesy anime with a bunch of hamsters that are doing
Yeah.
awesome stuff.
Yeah.
And I showed Shawnee at one time, and she goes, "You watched this?"
Yeah.
It's all like little super cute little things. What little hamsters, big adventures by Ham.
That's so
Yeah, I
funny.
remember the song.
if you like little cutesy animes and you like Pokemon, the Pokemon anime, at least the older episodes of the Pokemon anime, then you'd really enjoy Sergeant Frog.
Yes.
Sergeant Frog is these aliens that are frogs. They don't really look like frogs, but they are frogs.
They roughly resemble frogs.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they come to Earth to take over the world, to conquer Earth. It's hilarious. It's kind of in the same vein as Invader Zim.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
Invader Zim.
There are tons of episodes, hundreds of episodes of this. We've only watched like a season or two of it.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
I think it's on Crunchyroll. It's hilarious. We haven't watched it in a long time. Chris brought it up, gosh, probably 6 months ago, and I'm like, Sergeant Frog, what are you talking about? And I Googled it, and I'm like, oh, I remember this show. Totally forgot that we watched this.
Speaking of Pokemon, did you know there's a bunch of Bible references in Pokemon? Including Noah's Ark existed in Pokemon.
Really?
They have the whole deal. It's like the first season is like they do the most biblical references. But they talk about Noah's Ark on there too.
Huh. I don't remember that, but that's fun.
It's the first season, so it's the one that took forever to get going.
Yeah.
Can I drop the fun random info on Jake that he may not know?
Go ahead.
Sure.
So, do you know what the people in Pokemon world eat?
Oh,
I'm assuming Tauros and Miltank.
Right. Yeah, they eat the Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I love there's a theory in the Pokemon world or about the Pokemon world where it was a giant world war or something. And that's why there's not a lot of men around. And why all the kids are sent off early to start fighting with Pokemon just so they can become trained and battle hardened by the time they're adults. If there's another one that they've already got their soldiers.
Right. Yeah, they're like generals at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
That's why there's like Lieutenant Surge is one of the few men you actually see. Lieutenant Surge, Professor Oak, and then like they cloned all the police officers and the nurses, and
that's funny.
that's why they're all the same. And
There's a tactical Pokemon game. I can't remember what it's called. It's set in a medieval time, and it's tactical combat, but you're using Pokemon. It's way cool, but it's like medieval.
That sounds awesome.
It's pretty sweet. Yeah, I think it was on DS. I loved that game. I played the bejesus out of it.
There was an old Digimon game where you like your Digimon followed you around. It was like open world basically. You had to make sure you fed them and took care of them and all that stuff. I played it for a long time, and then we moved. Don't remember the name of it. Can't find it, but it was epic. I loved that game.
I had one of the original Digimon virtual pets when they first released.
Like the Tamagotchi type stuff? for
Yeah, they had a
Pokemon?
Digimon.
Oh.
You could battle them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't remember if you had to connect them or if you had to if it was wireless. But yeah, you could battle them if you trained them up high enough. Then you could battle them, and you didn't know what they were going to evolve into. They all started off the same.
I'm gonna run next door and let them know that we're gonna be over shortly.
Alrighty. Agumon Digivolve 2.
Yeah.
I used to. Shawnee actually watched that one as a kid, so that's one anime that she watched.
Oh, nice. I never watched Digimon. I never got into it. I actually got the Digipet along with the Tamagotchi back when everybody wanted a Digimon and a Tamagotchi, all those virtual pets.
Well, Chris, we're over an hour. We can end it here
Okay. I
if we
mean,
want to.
This was our anime episode.
Yeah.
I know
Anime. And blood and
they're gonna wonder where we're at. So
death.
sure. I mean, that's anime.
Well, yeah.
They one anime that doesn't have blood and death.
I'm pretty sure there's Christian animes out there too. They're just not that popular. But yeah, Pokemon. There's Bible references. It's interesting. So if you ever restart that show again, it's fun.
I suppose I could just YouTube it and
Yeah,
I'm sure all
probably.
that stuff somebody
Don't Google it because then they'll be like, "What does Christianity say about Pokemon?"
Yeah, right.
well, Pokemon's a devil.
They're devil.
Yeah.
My mama says that Pokemon's a devil.
Well, see, my mom thought that Pokemon was evil. And because, so many people were saying that when it first became popular.
Yeah,
And
they're monsters. They're demons.
well, it's so funny because being the way that I am, I'm like, I don't think so. And
Yeah.
I said, if I research it and I can present you with the facts that it's not evil, that it's not demonic, can I play the games? Because she wouldn't let me play the games or watch the show. And I was like 15, 16, something like that. And she's like, sure. So I got online and I looked it up and found out how Pokemon started and how Sashi Tashari created it. Initially, it was like for a niece or a nephew or something. And it was a much trimmed down version of the game, but it was based off of the bug collection he had as a kid. And, what people were freaking out about were like stars and circles and ghost Pokemon and like things that if you're really sensitive might bother you, but it's not overall demonic or anything like that. So I basically wrote up I think it was like a 4-page report and like presented it to my mom. And she's like, oh, okay, yeah, you can play it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're just going to call it here because we do have our game night coming up with our church. So, hey, everybody, come to our church if you want to on Sundays. It's Abundant Life here in Grand Island. We do fun stuff. We don't just do churchy stuff, but we do fun stuff. We love you guys. Thank you for watching and listening. Chris, you want to lead us out?
Sure. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for all the blessings that you've bestowed upon us, and we thank you for the strength that you give us in your holy and blessed name. Amen.
Amen.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. We are on basically anything and everything you can think of. Rumble, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, not X, what previously known as Twitter.
Yahoo Chat.
Does that even exist
I
anymore?
don't
No,
know.
it doesn't. They got rid of Yahoo Chat.
I just thought it was funny.
We are on the Apple, Spotify, Podbean, all your different podcasting stuff. So, yeah, see you guys there. Leave us a comment, like, and subscribe. We love you. Have a good rest of your day, and we will see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.